This is the Cash Considerations podcast with three guys from Pittsburgh, Philly, and Boston talking sports. God help us all. This is the show. Take it away, Dave.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is, what is it, Wednesday? No, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, March 24th, second week of March Madness, free agency. Did anybody sign yet today? I don't know. I mean, it feels like somebody signs every day. Free agency. We're in the thick of the NBA towards the end of the season. The NHL is a little further extended out, but we're headed towards the back end of that and race to playoff spots, things like that. And then, there's always March Madness to discuss. So we're going to hit all that stuff. Got the boys here, as always, back off vacation week, and we moved the show on him. He couldn't make it, but he's here. He's What's Up CH on the Twitter. You know him as Carl Hascall, the social media manager, coordinating producer, email guy, cashconsidshow@gmail.com. Thank you to those of you who have emailed us. And obviously, co-host of the show, CH, what's up?
How are you? How you doing? That's what's up. How you doing?
I'm good.
You guys last week. Glad to be back in the saddle.
We'll get to the best basketball team in the league, and it ain't the Sixers right now. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. Also here, the executive producer of the show, the co-host of the show, our young guy, our star. He changed up the Buckhead Studios background. You usually see his Twitter handle behind. It's @Newbie Talks on the Twitter, but he's Dan Alexander, actually, a.k.a. Dan Newbert. Newbie, you're looking fresh with this green screen background. Look at that. You got the logo back.
Move a little bit for the YouTube viewers. I'm getting the brand recognition here early and often, whoring myself out. If you want to buy, we'll sell domain behind it. You want your fucking product.
Tom Brady.
Put it behind my ugly mug. Only $200 per show to be behind me right there. There we go.
Cha-ching. That's it. There you go, man. So every time we say Cash Considerations or Tom Brady, now we're going to have to hit the register button. Ring it up. All right. Those are the boys. I am Dave Sharapan at SportsBK Consig on the Twitter for Sportsbook Consigliere. Complete lunatic this week. I was out yesterday walking with the to get some air, and I found some peacocks. You can find all that on Twitter. And everything else we're doing. The show, again, is at Cash Consid Show on the Twitter. Thank you again for following. Thank you to all of you who participated in the March Madness bracket contest. I haven't taken a look at the standings. I know I had Kentucky, at least to the Final Four. So Newbie raised his hand too, so he had that as well. So some of you are still alive. I know three of my Final Four and my champ is still alive. So we'll get to all that in a second. That's good. CH is holding up the 4, so he got all 4. But don't forget, CH runs the pool too. So I don't know how that should happen.
Correlation there. I agree.
Just saying, all 4 left. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this real quick. So this is going to be the rundown. We're going to keep it tight. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it going. NFL, we got to talk it because, for goodness sakes, I ain't really remember seeing an NFL free agency period like we just saw. And they did it right in the middle of March when all this other shit is going on. So that's crazy enough. Then we're going to, touch on some NBA. We have to now because, the best team in basketball is the Phoenix Suns record-wise, but the best team in the East and arguably in the league is the Boston Celtics. The guy at the bottom of my screen, I don't know where he's at on your screen, but he might have something to say about that. You're going to hear the song at some point. The hashtag anybody but the Nets and the Lakers is live. We keep trying. It's unbelievable. We could get them both in a play-in game and out before the final 8 in each conference. Right to the top. Touch on some MLB stuff. It's still, we're glad we're playing. Last time we did a show all together, there was no baseball. So now there's baseball. Baseball's on my mind as well as all the P's. Purdue, Providence, and the Peacocks. That's why I wore the P stuff for you people watching on the YouTube. It's the pirate hat, the throwback pirate jersey, Willie Stargell, and all the P games are tomorrow. So I don't even know what day it is. I'm fucked up just as much as anybody else. But we'll talk about the baseball. Then we started the Newbie movie review. Newbie didn't get to a movie this week because he's busy working. So he's watching basketball too. So no movie review, but I want to mention something that Newbie else, introduced to the world. We talked about that on 8 in the Box with B. Howe. kids writing about food and all this other shit. So we got to bring that into play. Carl's Corner on the way out. Take a minute, and that's it. All right. First of all, NFL. All right. You didn't sign anybody, CH. The Patriots. Are you concerned that they didn't sign anybody? Because the Steelers signed Mitchell Trubisky. That's funny. I see you leaning back and laughing. That's our quarterback now. Like T.O. said, that's my quarterback and was crying. I was thinking the same thing. But listen, I want to give Mitch a chance. Maybe because he's mobile. Ben has been a statue for about 5-6 years. Maybe Mitch can hand the ball off to Najee. It will be okay. We ain't hurrying to bet 65-1 to win the Super Bowl, but it's okay. Patriots don't really do nothing. Nothing.
No.
Everyone else in the division did, right? Well, the Jets don't, but the Jets are just in the division.
The Jets don't count anyway.
Yeah. The Dolphins go get Tyreek Hill, yesterday, day before?
Yesterday.
So now they got two on that. Obviously, the Bills are, circling the wagons again. Obviously, the odds on choice at 7-1 to win the Super Bowl. Where are your Patriots and all this? Just people saying the Patriots aren't even going to make the playoffs.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, Bill, last year was an aberration where he made a big splash, going out and getting Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith and spending some money on these guys, right? This year, he's obviously not doing that. They have they've got like $100 million in cap space next year. Oh. So I think he's very happy going after the second tier free agents this year, going after the draft this year and spending the money next year, I think. It's a deep wide receiver draft. I think he's going to be fine going after a receiver or two in the draft. The two guys they did sign that they're bringing back, Trent Brown is big to come back on the offensive line, and James White coming back from his hip injury last year is a huge addition that Mac Jones didn't have last year, other than the first game and a half, I think. So am I worried if Pete Carroll was the coach or if Dick McPherson was still a coach and, we're going in the Wayback Machine? I'd be concerned, but in Bill we trust, and I've got nothing to complain about for a little while. So I'm okay with where they're at right now.
Newbie, as the NFC guy of the group, your Eagles sit back, don't really do anything, but everybody's going to the AFC. Russell Wilson to Denver. Now Tyreek Hill to Miami. Obviously, Adams goes to the Raiders to play wide receiver. Like, a lot of shit is happening. Everybody kind of migrating to the AFC. Rodgers stays in Green Bay. Tampa gets the guy back. I mean, he never left. We knew he was never leaving, but he stayed. Eagles are sitting there. First thought, Eagles, what are we doing? 2, should we just both play to win the NFC, Tampa and Green Bay, and forget about the rest of the NFC?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously, and I talk about this all the time, that I'm not really a futures guy or whatever, but those are the two top dogs. But how often do the top dogs, at least in the NFC, always be the ones who are dominating, always be the ones who are winning out? You look at the Rams, I think that their expectations kind of change as the season went on. They're the team that ends up getting home, but everything was Aaron Rodgers. He's going to end up choking, and now he doesn't have Devontae to help pad stats for him. So I think the NFC is more wide open than ever. I think the one thing that kind of throws the hair in all of it is, I'll even preemptively do it, Tom Brady being in the NFC. Is there any correlation to the fact that he says, I'm coming back, and everybody says, I'm getting the fuck out of the NFC? There very well may be, but I think they're wide open, and the AFC is just a minefield, man. I mean, even if you just look at the AFC West is a freaking minefield. Yeah. So, we kind of touched upon this a little bit last week, that I think the parity in the NFL is going to be at an all-time high coming up this season. I wouldn't even place a future bet on anybody, because I think, if anything, that last year showed who had the Bengals making it to the Super Bowl. This is not your grandfather's 90s NFL anymore, where it's just top dogs rolling over people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's just, it seems so, I don't know if wide open is the point. It's very top heavy. Like, there seems to be like
various tiers now that are in, but again, with the talent level that's kind of getting spread out, and with a decent skill player draft, I think, I wouldn't be placing any futures before the draft is what I'm saying. I probably am not going to place any after, but until we see what ends up happening, before we see how this shakes out, and I guarantee you with how crazy this offseason's been, there's some more moves to come. I wouldn't be taking money and letting the book hold on to it for me for X amount of months with the lack of information that we have and the information that keeps coming
in. Looking at the AFC North odds right now at FanDuel. And the Cleveland Browns are plus 185. The Ravens are plus $2. The Bengals are plus 220. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are now plus 850. First of all, that's ridiculous. Complete blasphemy that the Steelers are that big of a dog. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but what are you people doing? These people should be betting the Steelers to win a division. Just saying. No, don't do that, because then you'll come at me at SportsBK and say he's a homer and all that shit. No,
it might be the Pittsburgh gear you're rocking today seeping into the brain.
It is. Pittsburgh nighttime and Pittsburgh behind me all the time. It's fine. CH Watson, apparently acquitted of all the shit. He gets traded to Cleveland. Cleveland's now the favorite to win a division, and they're like the fourth or fifth choice in the AFC to win the whole thing. Does that move the meter to you to go, Cleveland's one of the teams to beat in the AFC right now?
Well, I think if you look at last year, I think a lot of people going into the season thought Cleveland was a contending team for the AFC, right? Even though they had Baker at quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson, I was very high on trying to bring him to New England before the draft last year, and all this bullshit happened with him. I think he's a top 5 quarterback, assuming that he's going to come back where he left off and isn't going to have a huge drop off. So yeah, I think Cleveland should be the favorite to win the division. And I think, I said a couple of weeks ago that when you look at the AFC, it's Kansas City and Buffalo. I don't think it's Kansas City and Buffalo anymore. It could be Cleveland and Buffalo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, but you see the AFC North. I mean, you've lived it, Dave, for your entire life. Mm-hmm. How many times do we have to be seduced by the Browns preseason hype? Like I love it. I feel like this has fallen into, multiple times that this has happened where, we get excited about the Browns, and then what do the Browns do? They become the Browns. So I think, to CH's point, I think if they were ever able to turn that corner, it's probably with what they have in place and now becoming a destination. But, hold on.
Browns. Did you just say Cleveland becoming a destination?
I mean, look at who they're inking. I mean, I don't mean as the city, but look at same way as now Cincinnati is a destination. Nobody wants to fucking go to Cincinnati, but they want to play with Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Like
I want to play with Joe.
The cards have changed a little bit, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I'll agree with that. I got to see him on the field. I got to see the way he comes back before I, push judgment in. If I was in a book, I'd be like going like this, waving everybody on. Come bet Cleveland all you want. Because, he's going to be suspended. Everybody keeps saying it's going to be 6 and reduced to 4. Who knows what it's going to be? Nobody knows shit. We all know that. But I would pump the brakes a little bit on Cleveland and making reservations to go to Arizona for the Super Bowl. Really, really slow. I don't even know what the season wins would be yet. We'll have all those after the draft. The draft is coming up. It's here in April, the last weekend of the month. People, if you're coming, don't call me. I don't want to come out and see you. I had enough all of you this first weekend. Please. No, I'm just kidding. You can DM me. I don't know if I'll answer you back. That's the problem. You got to reach out.
You can see everybody in February for the Super Bowl.
That's it. Oh yeah. No. We'll be together before that. We're planning some other stuff. We'll let you know about that. All right. This question came up on a rundown before we get out of the football. I thought this was kind of amusing. Do you want Baker Mayfield? Would you take Baker Mayfield as your quarterback? Now, my options is Mitchell Trubisky or Baker Mayfield. I'm like, man, this is like a cruel joke. I mean, I'm one of the co-hosts of the show, but I feel like you're picking on me. I don't really want either one of them, to be perfectly honest, but I'll take Mitch right now. I think his upside a little bit higher. Baker's a cool dude, though. I think he'll be successful if he's healthy and if he has an offensive line that will protect him. I think he's got it. He's got that quarterback thing. I just don't think he was given the right tools, had to learn a new offense every other year or every year consecutively for like 3 years, coaching carousel, circus coming in with prima donna guys. I'm not sure. But newbie, I mean, you got your guy. You don't want Baker to take, you wouldn't take Baker over him, would you?
I wouldn't take Baker over Hurts, but I think it's a case-by-case basis of, I'm kind of with you. I don't think Baker is as bad as everybody says he is. I think he's one of those quarterbacks that's a guy. And when he's hot, but he's also so temperamental that he's not one of those guys who has the ice in the veins, which is really what you need from an NFL quarterback. But he's athletic. He can make throws, but is he the guy? No, I personally, with what I saw from Jalen Hurts, I'm glad that the Eagles stayed pat. I think he kind of earned having a second year, a second go around. And, just look around the league. What quarterbacks, if you're a fan base, do you think you would take Baker over? I don't know, CH, if any come to mind for you, because I know you're not saying, forget Mikey McCorkle, give me Baker Mayfield.
No, you're not doing that. But like Matt Ryan, the Colts picked Matt Ryan over Baker Mayfield, over Jimmy G. Like,
I mean, that's a good question. Jimmy G or Baker Mayfield.
What do you think, CH? I mean, I for me, that's a no-brainer. I'll take Mayfield in that spot. I mean, Jimmy G is great, but his ceiling is lower. I think
he's fragile.
Is higher. And he gets hurt. But I mean, Baker's tough. He played through those injuries.
Right.
Matt Ryan on the Colts, does that sell you better than Baker Mayfield, CH?
Well, it's the quarterback of the year, right? I mean, they'll use him for a year and then he'll retire, or they'll ship him off somewhere else and pay a fortune for him, and they'll bring in somebody else. And this is the 5th or 6th year in a row that they've had a new starting quarterback on opening night.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to wonder, where's the continuity over there? Somebody's got to be thinking, Reich's got to be thinking, when do I get a quarterback that I can have for a couple of years?
Does he draft? They don't draft one this year, right?
No.
Who would they?
No, I don't think they do.
Man.
But I'm really surprised, Dave, that you'd rather have Mitch than Baker. Mitch just he doesn't do anything for me.
People that I respect are telling me to be patient and say he can, if coached correctly and told, don't fucking turn the ball over, and mean it, don't fucking turn the ball over, the Steelers are going to be okay, because he can throw the ball down the field. Physically, he can do the job that Roethlisberger couldn't do. And when shit hits the fan, he can run, which Roethlisberger couldn't do. Right. They got wide receivers and they got the horse. There's no question Najee is going to be the back. So they may go back old school and run the ball 25 times a game, keep it close to the vest. He throws 14 for 18 for 137, and, they win 17-14. Who knows? I mean, I think that's an easier sell than coming in like Baker, because wherever he goes, he brings the smoke. It's you got to perform. This might put him in check. I mean, if he ends up in Seattle getting his ass handed to him every game, that's going to be brutal for Baker Mayfield, but it might take a step back. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, we have to discuss the NFL because, it is the NFL and we talk football every week on the show. Let's transition here. Josh, that's a transition for the next part of the show.
Right in the timestamps, Josh. I got it.
Right here. Keep it straight. Timestamp. We're going to go to the NBA. Oh my goodness. This NBA is getting fun. I mean, if you're not really a basketball fan, you should probably do yourself a favor the next couple of weeks. Just watch a couple games of the playoff contenders, because the playoffs are going to be fantastic. There's a team in the East. We talk about them, but we don't talk about them like we do every week with that other team, which not yet news. Keep writing, keep taking time. It's the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics. Fuck the Nets. The Sixers are driving me crazy. The Bucks are still there. CH. Are these Boston Celtics bringing back some memories of some good times up there in Boston? I'm not even talking as far back as Bird and McHale and Parrott. This is pretty impressive what they're doing.
They are a good team and they are fun to watch, man. Ooh. They are so much fun to watch. The way they shoot, they can pass. I'm not big on the rebounding, but man, are they fun to watch. I mean, they played Utah last night. Utah's in 4th place in the West, and it was over at halftime, and it's not like Utah sucks. They're good. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Now, for the people that listen to the show, CH is a lifelong Boston guy, fan. He usually tells you his team sucks right up until the point where they're going to play for the championship. Like, his team sucks. This team sucks. This is what you people from up there do. You hate on your team, and you always see the negatives and shoot the holes through them. And then they go and win a championship. You're like, I told you so. I knew it the whole time, So for him to say that, one, that's impressive. Two, they got 14 wins this season by 20 points or more, most in the NBA, which, by the way, they're doing right now, like 3 in a row. I'm on with Peralt every day, Bostonian versus the book. I got to listen to his Boston bullshit now, too, every day, which is fine. It's fine. I like it. Don't get me wrong. But he's even conceded, man, this is a fun team to watch. They pass the basketball great. They give each other open shots. But what they do, noobs, is they play defense.
Yep.
They are nasty defense. There's no ego on that team. They got really good players. I mean, obviously Tatum's the man, but Brown's right there. They got that Smart who you want to choke him out. When he's on your team, you love him, but you want to choke him out. Noobs. Our team. I call them our team.
Yeah.
Our team. That's our team. I got the hats. The kids love it. Every week. I can't.
Almost every week.
Almost every week.
We had one memoriam, but it was so long since we played it, and we had a reason to play it. I almost
find the button.
I forget even what it sounds like.
I do too.
I'm thinking
Bring
really
it back.
hard. I almost hear it. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Bring it
It's back. Get your heart out, Bama. Yeah, you thought it was going to be gone for the whole entire season. There's a little bump in the road. The honeymoon needed to come to an end. You know what I mean? They weren't going 27-0 with James Harden. I mean,
No.
You should be shocked that James Harden already didn't request a trade so far from the 76ers. But they're back winning, and honestly, you talk about having fun watching the games. I was joking on Twitter the other night of when Tyrese Maxey put the team on his back, dude, and ends up winning a game that they were like 7.5-point underdogs at home. Yeah. Maxey puts the team on his back and they win. I said all last year, and we can roll the tape. We'll go back to the episodes. I was saying, stop giving Ben Simmons minutes and give those minutes to Tyrese Maxey. I loved him ever since they drafted him. He's one of those players that actually respects and appreciates the gift that he has to be an NBA player. And anytime he steps on the court, whether it's practice, we talking about practice, whether it's a game, whether it's a press conference, he soaks it all in and he loves it. And that's why, yes, Embiid is my guy. Probably he's quickly becoming one of my favorite Philadelphia athletes. I like having James Harden on the team. The reason why I love the Sixers is like that energy that Tyrese Maxey brings to the floor and just his joy of life. I love me some Maxey, and I'm enjoying the ride. I am a little bit worried. There's a lot of Sixers fans that are like, man, I want to get back at the Nets. Well, Kyrie's playing for the Nets again. And what, they just dropped like a 70 burger, him and in a losing effort, which was incredibly done by CH. I mean, that was anybody but the Nets at its finest right there. Yes. I don't want any part of the Nets. And to go back to the point we started this segment with, Dave, as they're playing right now, I don't really want much of this the Celtics either.
No.
I mean, I think the one part is the Sixers can match their defensive intensity. Sixers are a team who likes playing a little defense as well. That's the only reason Matisse Thybulle even gets on the floor is the defense that he brings. But there's something to be said when a team is rolling. And I think the biggest strength that the Celtics had was not really making any true moves at the trade deadline. So it was, hey, we're what we got. Do we want to go out like bitches, or do we want to, turn this shit around? And I think that was a really rally the wagon moment, because since then, this team hasn't played with egos. They were fighting early on in the season. They were picking fights with each other. All that shit's gone by the wayside. And this team is really just having a nucleus of guys who like playing together, and they almost like assisting that extra basket more than they like scoring themselves. So Celtics are a scary team. You know, I'll bash them all that I can, being a Philly guy through and through, but just like CH calls it how it is about the 76ers and how infected he is by the song, Celtics are fucking good, Dave.
Yeah, I know. And I'm okay with it as long as they don't play the Sixers. I don't want to. If they got to play the Sixers, it's going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then
I'm okay with that.
I'm good with it. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that it lines up where the Celtics get the Nets in the first round, and they can take them out. Take them out. That's what we need to do first and foremost.
I will bet on the Nets every single game in that round and in the series just for that.
Thank you.
Yes. And then we'll get the Sixers. Maybe we'll get like the Hawks because they got a revenge tour them. Maybe the Raptors, although the Raptors could beat the Sixers. I'm a little worried about that. Maybe the Bulls. Maybe the Heat. The Heat are fighting on the sidelines yesterday. Jimmy and Haslam challenged. Haslam said, "I'll kick your ass." I made Haslam minus 250. I think you would have kicked Jimmy Butler's ass.
God, yeah.
Would have been okay to fight him. That's okay. But Noobs, are you worried about the toughness? Because I'm a little worried. Like every time a team plays Philly for a big game, they get up in Harden's face and they give it to him a little bit. And you don't like go after him. And I don't want JoJo, who probably going to win the MVP. It's him and Jokic and everybody else. I mean, you got tickets on him to win the MVP, big cash. So are you worried at all about the toughness? Because like Norm listens to the show, all the people we got in Philly, thank you again for listening to the show. I'm worried about this team a little bit. They seem a little bit soft when it comes to that.
I think probably the main reason why they seem soft is that's James Harden, right? We talked about it. I said it when they traded for him. You know, yes, I was excited, but he still has that tendency to be Harden, the friendly ghost, when big games come around. And he wants to be the field general, the court general, until big games come around. He says, "Oh, I'm just a player. What do you want from me? I'm not the coach." But he wants to be the coach when they're playing the Magic, when they're playing the Nets. So no, I'm just a player. I don't know what you guys are looking at me for. I gotta get my beard shaved up. I'm ready to go. So am I surprised that Harden shrunk in big moments thus far? No. Do I hope that things change in the playoffs? Yes. Does history say it will? Unfortunately not. I just think if there's anybody who can challenge him and not allow him to go back into that shell, it's Joel Embiid, because he's already had the bad taste in his mouth how many times of being the top seed or having a real chance to be moving on, and then some dumb shit that happens either injury-wise, either out of his control with Ben Simmons passing a ball under the basket. I think Embiid really wants to win. And sure, you know, the MVP is great. That's all good and well, but he wants to be in the finals. Maybe not winning the finals, but
damn it, I want him to be too.
Winning the Eastern Conference Finals is the sole motivation for Joel Embiid. And I think I hope that he's going to have a Harden understanding how important that is to him. And if he doesn't, you know, it's going to be another heartbreak for Philadelphia fans. It's not up to me. It's up to James Harden to kind of decide what he wants to be, what he wants his legacy to be, you know, and I hope Joel Embiid can get in his ear about it.
You know, we don't have to worry about going to the finals before we move on to the next sport is the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron. I mean, it is great. They play in Cleveland earlier in the week. He goes triple-double, 38, 12, and 11 or something, just scores. They beat Cleveland as a 6-point dog, which the line was too high. We gave that one out, told everybody. And again, we talk about the picks. We can give you the picks. We tell you winners and you don't listen. And then when we give you losers, you bitch and complain. Guess what? Go find some pick somewhere else. We ain't got no algorithms. We're just sitting here talking about the games, talking about the sports, and talking about life along with the gambling in the middle. So the Lakers aren't going to the finals. The Lakers aren't hopefully not even going to the playoffs, but they're playing the Sixers on national TV yesterday. And the Lakers come up. LeBron comes up a little bit late. My knees swelled up. Can't play. Line goes from 7 to 10. Of course, the CLV made an appearance because all them tickets in between right in the can. Sixers win. Lakers cover. The game flies over. It happens. CH, Are the Lakers making the playoffs? Yes or no?
I hope not. That would be so satisfying if one of the two teams didn't make the playoffs. I would love it if the Lakers didn't make it. San Antonio is only 2 games behind. They've won 2 in a row, 5-5 over their last 10. Lakers 3-7 over their last 10. Do that again over the next 10. Lakers are out of the playoffs. That would be a beautiful thing.
It's you can hear it almost, CH. You can almost hear the hashtag anybody but the Lakers song. Oh, I'm sorry, Walsh. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And I said that when LeBron went to LA, I was like, it's not the move, man. It's not. At least they got their championship.
Shortened season in the bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. The bubble that this Miami team that's fighting on the sideline was also in the finals. But that's neither here nor there. They got their championship. They're not getting another one as currently constructed.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
that's too bad. All right. That's it for the NBA talk. Let's move on. Before we do, wanted to mention the Book It Sports app. What's better than winning a bet? Doing it with your friends. On the Book It Sports app, you can talk about the game, track your action, and buy picks straight from the pros. Whether you like the NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL, come sweat out your bets with one of the fastest growing communities in sports betting. Start building your following and stand out amongst your friends by downloading Book It Sports today for free on the Apple and Google Play stores. Book It Sports is available for download in all 50 states. Follow Book It with Trent. He's just setting records with those surgical streams and all that other shit that he's doing. I ran into Trent down at the Westgate for March Madness, and him and LC, his cohort on there, were sweating the Texas game. They got it in that night, but then Texas got everybody against Purdue. Didn't get there. Did not make the Sweet 16. Boys, first reactions. We've had a couple days to reflect on the first couple days of March Madness. I don't know how much you watched. I watched almost every game all over town. Saw a lot of people that were in town. It turned into a bigger circus than it has been in years because we don't have mask mandates here and everybody needed to get the fuck out of their house. So they came here to Vegas. So it was a lot of fun hopping around from book to book. CH, did you watch it? What did you take away from it so far?
I took away that my Final Four is still alive. That's the most important thing that I took out of it. And I think I tweeted the other thing that I took out of it was that on which day was it? I think it was Thursday. No, it was the second day. It was Friday. I went to the place up here that's going to be the first book in my area that they got approved. I think it passed in November that they're going to start taking bets.
Oh,
and I walked in there and on Friday afternoon, about a half hour after the games started, and we had, what did we have? We had the NHL Network on one channel. Mm-hmm. We had MLB Network on another channel, mm-hmm. and we had 2 games on. And I said, guys, you can't do this. Can you put the games on? And they finally took care of it. Those were the important things. But
yeah.
As always, great fun to watch. I love watching the games. I'm very happy about a couple of my picks that made it through. I'm pretty excited about a couple of these double-digit seeds that are playing tonight and tomorrow. That what are they doing there, right? It's always exciting to see some of those Cinderella teams. So good weekend though.
Newbie, you've been doing the shows on Wager Talk, as an executive producer over there as well. Between Puck Time with McGinnis and Carmine, who I saw here. I don't know if you guys know, McGinnis is 6'6". Like, he is a big bitch. I mean, he's a big dude. And Carmine, you do the hockey show, but then also Present Teddy, and you do that show. So you listen to all this stuff. Did you watch it? Did you take anything away from it?
Oh, absolutely, man. I look forward to it every year. I say it all the time. I don't know. Absolutely. Like, nobody knows shit. We know that. And I might get a background worked up for that for next week's show. We know that nobody knows shit, but I don't know fucking shit about college basketball. Too many teams, all that. March Madness rolls around, I become an expert, man. I absolutely love it. I watch, just like you, every single game. I got the 2 screens set up and my laptop as well, tracking all of that. I got my buddy Paul Roberts, who's sending me his locks, and he's on a fucking run, dude. And he's not like a professional bettor or anything like that, as much as that's a thing now.
Right.
But he's like 75% or something like that, like picking a nice healthy clip. So, no, the losses are coming, but I've been locked, man. And there have been some terrific games. My bracket not doing as well, but just like last year, I end up in first place in our bracket pool through the first 2 rounds because I'm so like solid at being able to pick the upsets early. I just can never pick who's going to keep moving on. So my final 4 not intact. My final 4, for lack of a better term, is fuck diddly poo. So not going to be winning it, but I at least feel good that I'm alive here. What I'll say, Dave, is that Arizona TCU game. I know that the big story is the Peacocks, the St. Pete's, strutting like peacocks. But the TCU Arizona game was genuinely one of the best basketball games I have ever watched because it had everything. It had a dog, nearly taking down a top seed. It had bad calls that you get to bitch about.
Was that a foul at the end of the game?
At the end of
regulation?
Yeah, the thing was, in my opinion, it was either a foul, like a blocking foul, or it was an over and back. The fact that they didn't call either of them, I was a little surprised because it was one of those 2 calls. I think, big moment. You got to let the teams play, though. I'm sure people who are back in the TCU Horned Frogs, Trent, they probably weren't too happy about that no call at the end. But that game had everything. Even for the UFC crowd, Dave, somebody got busted in the face and there was blood on the court. They zoomed in on the blood on the court of the dude who got hit in the face. Like, that game had everything. If you're a sports fan, like, that was a microcosm of what you love about sports. The human element of the refs, the physical element of both of the teams not wanting to go home. Just a terrific basketball game through and through. I know the St. Peter stuff is all amazing. I think for my money, that was the best moment of March Madness, was that game as a whole. And you can also probably tell I had an Arizona ticket because I clearly loved the ending of that game.
Yeah, that's funny because when you're in the book, you see who everybody has just because they root. And it's fun to be in the book. That was my takeaway. It was so much fun to be in the book again. And thank God, not behind the counter. I mean, for all those years, I was behind the counter or locked in a risk room behind a wall, and you could hear all this fun going on. And then being in an office building the last couple of years away from it all, and you forget what that's like. So Vegas is back. Again, got to meet a lot of people and watch games with people that I've done shows with. And you guys have been on here, Cash Considerations, with us. Julian Edlow was, we hung out. Sunday was like, where's Julian? Like, where's Waldo? I couldn't find him. Because I go on Twitter and post where I'm at. Come over and say hello. We had a lot of people come up and stuff. Mr. C, Mr. Covey came up and said, hey, man, I'm, nice to meet you, and started talking. He's like, yeah, Mr. C. I said, get the hell out of here. This dude is 6'5" or 6'6".
Boy,
he's a big dude. And but we got to sweat out a game. We were all on the same side. He got to sit with Mo. These takes on Twitter, complete nut, but so much fun, full of life. And he had a big ticket on Colgate plus A2. So that worked out really well. The other takeaway I got is, man, it's hard to lay points in these unless it's a short number. These end of these games are so crazy. I don't think we get that going forward, though. And if you go back and you listen to the show that me and Brad Howe did at Brad Howe 07, we do 8 in the Box, where we broke down the basketball. He's a real basketball mind and analytical guy, and he went deep. We're not going to do that here. But it's a lot of good things. Look at numbers. And the way like this is spaced out now, you can get bets and pretty much watch every single game if you want. First half, second half, in game, sides, totals, it's all there. They're breaking even out the team individual player props as well. So those are fun. The first to 15 bets are still the most fun, exciting thing. If all of us are in a book, 8 guys, everybody's got, St. Peter's against Kentucky to get the first 15 points. And you're just hooting and hollering as they're up 14-12. Please get a bucket because you don't want the other team to come down and hit a 3. So, yeah, that was fun. Can you give me a Final Four right now? I don't think we can. I mean, we could try. I'll go first. My Final Four in the bracket contest was Arizona, Kansas on that side, and Texas Tech along with Kentucky on that side. So it's not Kentucky anymore. I don't think it's going to be Purdue. I think it's going to be one of the other teams. A lot of sharp guys have told me it's going to be North Carolina. They're going to beat UCLA, and they're going to beat the winner. So, I mean, I'll stick to the other three originally, although I think Gonzaga is going to win. I think Gonzaga is going to get to the Final Four. I thought they had their moment where they were down at halftime to Memphis and woke up, looked like the coach said, run, just run. And they did, and easily covered the second half. Gonzaga down at halftime has been a waterfall bet. You'll see that when you see that on the Twitter, when I put that out, that means that's what everybody's betting. It doesn't always mean it's going to win, but that's a huge side. So those are my four. I'll go Texas Tech. I'll go North Carolina. And then I guess chalk, although I want to see Villanova do it. I want to see Villanova. But I think Kansas is definitely going to be the Final Four. Carl, what do you got?
I'm going to ride the four that I picked before because they're still alive. So I've got the Zags to win it all. I've got them beating Villanova in the final. So I got Gonzaga and Villanova beating Purdue and Kansas respectively in the Final Four.
Oh, damn it.
So still alive. I don't like the total points that I picked for the tiebreaker. I went very low and should have Gonzaga might score that number on their own.
It's interesting because if they're in it, it's definitely about a 10-point difference almost. Like you can see it this week. Their total is 10 points higher than anyone else's total that's playing that's still left. So that's a good point. But you think they can win it?
I've got them winning it. Yeah, absolutely. I do have them winning it. And I'm going to give you a pick too. I know we're not usually giving out picks, but I'm going to give you a pick. And even though it's going to come back to hurt me because I've got Kansas in the finals. And I think the game is, let me just make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah. Take Providence tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you why. To cover. Boy. Because they got to ride down on the Patriots jet.
Oh, shit. Inside information.
Kraft let them use the jet to fly from Rhode Island to where they play in Chicago.
Tremendous.
So the last team that did that was the women's hockey team in Boston, and they won their whatever the cup is called or last year. So it's
now we know
that winning rubs off, even if you're just using the plane. So
hell yeah, it does. God damn it! Now we know that we're gonna have to take in plus the points for sure. Newbie, how about your Final Four? What do you got?
Well, since my bracket is busted, despite being in first place through the first two rounds, doesn't matter because I'm hoping everybody shit loses now. So give me Duke in the top. Give me Duke up top. Same side of that bracket. Give me the Bruins of UCLA.
Okay.
I actually think, all joking aside, like all like the fuck you in your bracket. I actually think UCLA could make the Final Four. They're damn good, man. Really good team.
Yep.
They also were that kind of surprise team. I talk all the time about how playoff success is linear. They took that step forward. We're in the play-in last year, end up making it to the Sweet 16. I think they make it a little bit further past that. So on the other side, I'm going Homer. Give me Nova moving on from the top there in the South. And for Midwest, I said it at the beginning, Dave, give me the fucking chaos. All you sharp guys and your Ken Palm luck bullshit. Fuck that. Providence, give me them pulling it all, get them to the Final Four, and then we can talk about how lucky they are and how unlucky the duct tape shoe guys are. Yeah, that fucking. Yeah, how long do we have to hear that all season long, Dave? They keep cashing tickets, keep covering spreads, and now there's a little buyer's remorse from all the guys in their fucking protractors and abacuses and bullshit.
Was glorious. They took out the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, nothing personal Jackrabbits, but took them out. And then they got lucky that they didn't have to play Iowa, who got shown the door by Richmond. Rich, what? The Spiders lost. Are you kidding me? By a lot. That was one of the more fun bets that I had made. And I was with Peralt. We were all kind of like laughing on all the people that were like, yeah, Providence, they can't win another game. They just did. If they beat Kansas, gambling Twitter is going to blow up. It will be all over.
I hope so bad.
Let's move on. This is another transition. This will be a brief one because we'll have a lot more to talk about. We're going to do our little baseball preview. We'll look at some season wins and all that other stuff. And we'll also revisit the fact that whether ketchup belongs on a hot dog or not, it's set our original plan in motion to have the show explode all over social media and everything else. Now, everybody that comes on the show, we're going to have to ask, do you have ketchup? Do you put ketchup on a hot dog? Yes or no? And then maybe we'll make a price before they come on, whether we think they'll say yes or no. Just kind of putting that out there, just in case anybody wants to take it. Just cash considerations, copyright, cash considerations. Just let them know. I'm just saying. Baseball free agency. Noobs. The Phillies. I mean, they signed Schwarber. They signed Castellanos. Signing all these guys. They got the best goddamn softball team in the National League, let alone in baseball. All they're going to do is hit home runs. We're going to bet them over. Ain't nobody can catch the ball. It's going to be a problem. I mean, it ain't going to be a problem as long as we bet the over. But if I'm pitching, if I'm Wheeler and the boys, like, I'm pissed off. Like, can you get somebody who could catch the ball? Their season wins is 84. We'll get all that next week, the week after. We got time. Are you excited about baseball yet in Philly, or are we all about the Sixers?
I mean, for me, spring rolls around, it's lacrosse season, baby. But I will say, for Phillies fans, it's exciting, but you know, wake me up when we make the playoffs. It's been over a decade now. I've done this same fucking song and dance how many times? Oh, it's gonna be the year. It's gonna be the year. At least there's some excitement around the team. At least baseball is back. I know how much that means to baseball guys like you guys. So, you know, I'll bow out on this one. I think it is exciting, though. And I also, how do you say his name? Castellanos?
Castellanos, yeah.
Castellanos.
Ooh, very nice.
Años.
You say it better than anybody.
He had his interview in Clearwater, and he just said, I mean, this is going to ingratiate him with Philly fans right away. He said something to the effect of, you know, I don't have a college degree. I have a degree in hitting baseballs. And you know what I mean? Like, I just love like quotes like that, where it's just like, I'm just here to hit fucking balls, guys. You know, you're asking me all these questions about analytics and, you know, just let me hit balls. It's exciting. And, you know, you're asking about, hey, can we get somebody to catch? You know, we need our pitchers to not be giving up ninth inning runs anyways before you have to worry about people catching. So why not out hit them when we keep blowing leads anyways? Maybe if we have a lead of 10 runs, that'll be a little bit tougher to blow once Hector Nervous hops out of the bullpen.
Oh boy. Yeah. We don't need Nervous in there. He definitely makes everybody nervous. CH, obviously one of the biggest free agent signings of the season, of the, you know, shortened signing season. I mean, we got Carlos Correa going to the Twins. I still can't figure out where that came from. That might have been a non-market issue where they're like, hey, man, Minnesota's going to offer you this money, and they're the only one to offer you. You better take it. You have to take it, you know, for the cause, because players are all sticking together. Obviously, we got baseball. Freddie Freeman, who I thought either was going to stay in Atlanta or come up north to Boston, put him at first. That helps everybody. I mean, he's good defensively. He can bang those balls off of that big monster out and left, and just would have been perfect. Would have been great. He goes to the Dodgers. You are the originator of all the hashtags. I don't think you got the power in you. I don't think anybody has the power in you to fucking take this Dodger team down. Do you?
If anybody can do it, it's going to be CH with the hashtag. The Dodgers have already locked up a spot for the summer.
Man, like win total, Dave. And I think, like you said, we'll get into this on some further episodes, go our over unders like we did last year, predict, you know, who we think are going to win the different divisions and whatnot. Isn't their number like 100? Like, aren't they like the one triple digit team? And I DraftKings made a huge error when they opened in PA on the win totals. They opened them up at 95.5. So a major outlying number. I hit that over. So if anything can do the anybody but the Dodgers, it's CH and the Magic, and it's me placing a future on them. So they got two things working against them, Dave. I got the CLV on them. So they got the can They got my ticket and they got CH cursing them, man. That could be all you need to take down the Dodgers.
Well, I'm going to have to start wearing all the stuff again and getting all the Dodger throwback stuff out there for our Dodger fans that listen to the show. SoCal, love you. The Dodgers are really good. T-Lo, Tommy Lorenzo, appreciate you listening to the show. I'll see you next week here in town for, I guess, Bet Bash and the Final Four. Who knows what the hell's going on here? But the Dodgers got it going on, and I swear I just can't see anybody else in that division even challenging them. The season win totals for the Padres. Oh, by the way, Tatis was hurt, and he's going to be out 3 months. I mean, never mind. Don't get me started on that shit. The Giants, the Padres, okay. The Diamondbacks, really. The Rockies, Chris Bryant goes to the Rockies. He took the money. He didn't go to the win. He took the money. A lot of people take the money. There's nothing wrong with that. Congratulations, Chris. Way to go. I would have liked to see you go play third base with Harper and the boys in Philly. Would have worked out okay with me, but it's okay. And then my Pirates, God bless you. I love this stuff. I love this shirt. I love that old school hat stuff. Everything. Can't get out of our own way. I don't know. American League, it is what it is. We'll get there another time. You know that place we got to go, noobs. You got to take us there, as you do every single week. Now the CH is back in the corner.
You want it, you got it, Dave. It was a 1 week respite, but we're back in that corner. And ooh, is it sticky back there? It's time for Carl's Corner with your host, Carl Hascall. Take it away, Mr. C.
The best part is it's completely unscripted. We have no idea what's going to come out of Newbie's mouth. When I throw him that,
I don't even know. It just, I black out.
It's the best. And then you just look, Carl's like, he's waiting because he's waiting to talk, but he's also waiting to be like, what is he going to fucking say now? It's sticky in the corner. Is that what you just said? Oh my God. Go ahead, CH. Take it away now. Go ahead.
How am I supposed to follow that? Jesus. You know, the truth is, I sit here and I wait and I think, oh, I really like this theme song. I really like this intro. And then all of a sudden, this motherfucker comes out of left field with a haymaker every single time. I don't know why I don't just expect it by now.
Oh God.
So anyway, I've had, over the last couple of months or so, I've had a little bit more time on my hands than I have in the past. So I've started watching some movies that probably everyone in the world has seen and I hadn't seen. And that's going to be a subject for another day. We talked about doing that over the summer last year. Mm-hmm. We didn't do it. So I've watched a lot of movies. I just watched All the President's Men. I had never seen that movie before.
Oh,
classic movie. Good stuff. But what I was thinking today, and I Newbie's doing his movie thing, and he's not going to have one today because of March Madness got in the way, but we can still talk some movies. I want to know from you guys, what are the 3 to 5 movies that you have watched the most times? I can tell you there are a handful that if back when I used to flip the channels and see what was on the guide, I would say, oh, this is on, I got to watch it. There were a handful of movies that I would just stop. Didn't matter if it was 5 minutes left in the movie or if it just started, I would watch it. So I want to know from you guys. I'm going to go to Dave first. Dave, what movies have you seen the most in your lifetime?
I'm going to work backwards here when I got the assignment. One is in Brother Doug. If you're listening to the show, I mean, this was always one that we literally watched, I don't know how many times, at college, at home, over and over. But Harlem Nights, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Red Fox, You Blind, some of them, all the different things that were in there. Benny Snake Eyes Wilson. I remember all the names. Anytime it's on, it's on. So I've watched it. I probably have that one around, I don't know, 42 and a half. Then I went to Coach Carter. I love Coach Carter, Samuel L. Jackson, high school basketball coach for Richmond, California High School. Rich, what? That's why I said that earlier. It's been on my mind. It's always on my mind. Some great life lessons come out of that movie, and I really just love to enjoy it. Then it's Major League. I don't know. That number's over 100. I mean, anytime that's on, I watch it over and over and over and over and over. Made the kids watch it. Got a whole collection of baseball movies that was given to me by my mom. One of my milestone birthdays, I believe 40. So have them, watch them, repeat them over and over. Then you go to the two classics that I have on the DVR just when I am bored or tired and I want to think about nothing, but I want to watch something. A Bronx Tale, I can't even, I mean, I don't know how many times. It's over 100 for that. So many lessons there, and Collagito and all this stuff is just, it's too good. And then The Godfather. Godfather is, either 1 or 2. 3 didn't really happen. I mean, it happened, but it has one good line. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. That's it. Other than that, there's nothing really to watch from Godfather 3. But Godfather 1 and 2 just have all of those things in them that I enjoy. And my wife, to this day, if she sees it come up on the guide or she's in the room, she's like, I'm out. So sometimes when I just need some time to myself, somehow it comes on and that's on again. All right, never mind. I'm going downstairs or going somewhere with the kids. So ulterior motives, maybe, but those are my favorites.
That's a great list. And you know what? I don't think I've seen half of those movies.
Oh,
I've never seen Coach Carter. I've never seen Harlem Nights.
Oh,
they're going on the list. I'm spending a little bit of time watching all these movies that I've never seen before. Yeah. So, all right, newbie. I partly expect you to have a list like Dave's list when we did the who do you want to go play golf with, and his foursome was 90 foursome. But what are your favorites, and how many of them are in the Marvel universe?
I'm trying to think if there's any that I've watched multiple, like maybe Guardians of the Galaxy would like trend into seeing it. I've probably seen it like 3 or 4 times, but I really have like a short list of movies that I've seen multiple times because I like watching new ones. You know what I mean? Like it took me forever to watch The Godfather, and I don't know how it took me so long. It's still one of the best masterpieces I've ever seen, just from a cinematic standpoint. But as far as like ones that I've dove in and rewatched, I saw in theaters, and I think I told you guys this, Batman, my favorite superhero growing up. I saw that Heath Ledger Dark Knight movie, no bullshit, 13 times in theaters.
Wow.
3 of them were in IMAX. So basically I blew my college fund. That's why I had to just go to local schools, because I went and saw Batman 13 fucking times. So there was all that money there. I've seen Invincible so many times. The Vince Papale story with Mark Wahlberg, absolutely stellar. My favorite sports movie of all time. I say it all the time and everyone always rolls their eyes at me. It's from the creators of South Park, Basketball. And it's these dudes who create their own game, which I just think we all dream that we could create our own sports league, and they turn a hybrid of shooting trick shots in basketball into a baseball type game. And, you know, it's just hilarity ensues. Those are the 3 that really stand out to me. But then there's one that lords above all the others. You know how when you're a kid and you always have that one movie, mommy, put it on, mommy, put it on. And she's just like, shut the fuck up, put this movie on so you're done. For me, and this probably will come to no surprise to either of you, it was Grease. The movie version of Grease with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. I loved Grease, and, you know, I went by Danny for most of my life because I wanted to be Danny Zuko. I actually made my mom like comb my hair with the little fucking curl in the front, and I would walk around fucking Grease lightning, go, 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 go. So the movie I have seen more times than any other is Grease, starring John Travolta, and now, you know, probably the Carl's Corner intros make a little more sense when you think about the fact I was like 4 years old watching a movie about high school kids fucking. So, you know, that tells you everything you need to know there.
What's funny, when I was a kid, we had this precursor to HBO. I think it was called Starcase, and it was just a movie box, and it was one channel, and you could play the movies. You know, there was one schedule of movies, and it played the same movie like 4 times a day. And there were only like 15 movies a month, but they were constantly on. I didn't even include any of those on the list because I watched them all hundreds of times because, you know, it was back in the dark ages before cable. I'm going to give you my list. I actually have 7 because I thought about 2 while we were just doing this. So I'm going to blow through my first couple pretty quickly. First, I've got 7th is probably Star Wars, the original. And I'll tell you what, I will never, ever watch another Star Wars movie again because I've had enough Star Wars in the last 40 something years that I don't care anymore. I don't care about characters. I don't care about new shows. I don't care about Mandalorians anymore. Done. I've had enough. Number 6, which was probably very high up on the list at one point, but has kind of fallen off. Hunt for Red October. I have probably watched 20 times.
Wow.
That is a fantastic movie. Sean Connery is amazing in that. It does have Alec Baldwin, though, so it kind of loses a little bit of luster. But number 5, another Sean Connery movie, and you're going to notice a trend here with a couple of these. The Untouchables. Kevin Costner.
Great movie.
Sean Connery, great cast. I've seen it. That's got to be 25 times easily. Number 4, I just watched a couple of months ago, Shawshank Redemption. That's one that I used to watch every time you saw it on. It didn't matter where it was. It could be halfway through. It's just a fantastic movie. Number 3 is a tie, and I know normally you don't do it this way, but Godfather 1 and 2 are right there, probably getting into the 30 range that I've seen the Godfather. And these are some long movies. And what's good, I don't know if you've seen it, but I think it was AMC that did the Godfather chronologically. So, there's all the flashbacks in Godfather 2.
Reshot. Fantastic.
It was amazing.
Gotta watch that.
Yep. Number 2, I just watched this past weekend, which is part of what triggered this whole thing. Rounders. I absolutely love that movie. John Malkovich is amazing. He's not in it very much, but paid that man his money. Fantastic movie.
Makes me think of Bostonian versus the Book right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's at the beginning. I hear it every day. I love that movie too. Absolutely.
Yep. And you just said Bostonian. I don't know how I didn't include The Departed in here because I even had to say it with the accent. Did you notice? I let the Boston come up. The Departed would fall in here somewhere in the probably 4 to 5 range. But number 1, I watch probably twice a year. Anytime I get sick and I don't want to move off the couch, I watch this movie. It's Miracle. I have probably seen that movie 75 times if I've seen it once. Yeah. Great movie. It just brings back all the memories, probably for you too, Dave. I just remember, when it actually happened, 20 years before Newbie was born.
Yep.
All time, absolutely my all-time favorite movie. And again, I've seen it 75 times easily. And it's been like 4 months since I've watched it. So I'm due.
Probably due before the playoffs. Ramp it up a little bit.
Before the playoffs. Yeah. Exactly.
There you go.
That's my list. And I figured no Newbie review this week. The Oscars are Sunday. I'm sure that, there's probably not a lot of Oscar winners on this. Oh, Godfather. Right? And I'm sure basketball won something. So
Shawshank should have.
Yeah, Shawshank probably did too. Yeah.
Baseball should have as well. Picture of the year right there. Which does it for another rousing rendition of Carl's Corner. And by the way, it was sticky because somebody spilled soda, you sick sons of bitches. That's all we got. One more order of business. Back to you, Dave. I'm glad that guy cleared up why it was sticky in the corner. I was curious the whole segment. I couldn't even pay attention. I was just wondering. So
Bama Mafia. Yeah, Bama Mafia is going to come up with a reason why. Although I don't know. He's quick to take shots, but he's always quick to defend the one of us that the other two are getting.
That is true. He's always got your back, man.
He's got our backs.
Always.
This is an over show, boys.
So the pace of play was amazing today. I will say.
Excellent.
Take a minute.
Excellent work.
And we might have a road trip down there, Memorial Day weekend, if you remember correctly.
We did get that put out there. I want to
party like a Bama party.
I want to circle the wagons on that before we even broach that subject, but that sounded like a hell of a party.
He said he'd provide transportation, and
I know
that means flights, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh no! He's gonna feed us and all that other stuff.
I mean, that guy.
Of course he does. How do you think he gets to all these road games?
Oh my God! He might be able to actually. Now that you said that, between him and Beat the Bookie, Rob, who I got to hang out with, and me too, we might do some road location shows. Cool. Got a couple ideas that we put together. Also with Jeff Dawson, who I want to mention here real quick before we do take a minute, www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Your sports leaders delivered to you via text and email. On the ECSI family, you've got, coming up here, NBA and NHL playoffs. He's got, getting ready, doing his work here with his fantasy guys for baseball. getting ready to do the daily grind of Major League Baseball, as well as the golf. We got Masters coming up. There's going to be a zillion bets between him and a couple other golf guys that we know. Jeff Davis does the odds at Circa. Keep an eye on those. Those are really probably the best worldwide odds. Jeff's always watching that. He says, if you have any other questions, ask the real Vegas Dave. No, not that guy. Ask me. Fuck that guy. No iron team, just win and profit. And we'll basically see you at the Masters is what he's talking about right now. All right, boys, that's it. That's a hell of a show right there. But we always finish with the Take a Minute segment where you get to rant. You get to go just get things off your chest, send out a message, shout out to anybody that may be listening to the show, watching the show on the YouTube channel, Cash Considerations Podcast. Follow along, click the subscribe button. Apparently the word on the street is if you can get to 1,000 subscribers, you can do this shit live. And we can do it live at a certain time where if we had to do multiple shows, we can do multiple shows just in case anybody's listening that's wondering those same things. We have some time things will work out, but yes, we'd be able to do a live show on a more regular basis. Right now it's once a week. Doesn't have to be that way. All right, CH, you were gone a week, so you're fresh. You go first. Your Take a Minute segment as the coordinating producer, social media manager, email guy, cashconsidshow@gmail.com, and obviously co-host of the show. Welcome back, bitches. What's up, CH, on the Twitter? Take a Minute starts in 3, 2, 1.
So first of all, I didn't say it when the song got played earlier, but you motherfuckers, I'm not here for 1 week and you don't play the Sixers song the 1 week I'm not here. Bastards. Anyway, I missed the show last week because me and my buddy Dave, who I've talked about a few times on the show here. Weeksy, that's right. Me and Weeksy took a road trip down to Springfield. I had never been to the Basketball Hall of Fame. I've lived here my entire life in New England. I discovered that I only lived 90 minutes away from the Basketball Hall of Fame. Took a road trip down there. So there were some cool things. First of all, they got a full-size court in the Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool.
Did you run a game?
No, they don't. They don't allow games. No horse, none of that stuff. No one-on-one, no half-court shots, which I was a little disappointed about. But after I started shooting, there was no way I was going to hit a half-court shot. But I did go 2 for 10 from three-point land. And for a 52-year-old guy to go 2 for 10, there are some NBA teams that can't shoot 20% from three-point land. So I'm available for the stretch run if anybody needs me in the late minutes of the game. But I was also disappointed about a few things there. If you go to the Hall of Fame, there should be some kind of an exhibit for all of the people who have been inducted. You know what they have for all the people who have been inducted at the Basketball Hall of Fame? A big wall with everybody's name on it. That's it. Just names etched on a wall.
They don't have like the plaques or anything the other ones?
Nothing.
Oh, really?
No,
wow.
It was incredibly disappointing. You know what else they don't have? They had a lot of display cases with all artifacts. Some of them were jerseys. Actually, there's a funny thing about some of the jerseys. This is one case. It's got a Larry Bird jersey. It's got a Magic jersey, and it says Larry Bird right next to it. It says Magic, right? Magic Johnson. And I got a Karl Malone. It says Karl Malone. And then there's a number 11 Detroit Pistons. Out of the 8 jerseys hanging in the case, the number 11 Detroit Pistons doesn't have a card on it.
Everybody knows.
But it being in Boston, it's fantastic to me that Isaiah Thomas's name isn't recognized in that case, and all the others are there. But that was the biggest complaint I had was the Hall of Fame. You have all these great artifacts and displays. Probably half of them didn't have any notes as to what they were. Like you see a world championship ring, no idea whose it was, no idea what team it was. You have these jerseys that are hanging. Like I knew that number 3 on the Miami Heat was Dwayne Wade. It was Dwayne Wade, right? Yeah. But they had in one of the main rooms, they had 4 jerseys hanging, and I knew that was Dwayne Wade, and I knew that was Larry Bird, but I have no idea who the other 2 were. It could have been Spud Webb. It could have been, Manute Bol. Who knows? No idea who they were. So some cool stuff there. Love the 3-point land shots, but guys, step up your game. Put a little card next to all the stuff in the cases so that we know what we're looking at. That was pretty disappointing. And that's my minute.
Thank you, sir. That's surprising. I've never been to the Basketball Hall of Fame. At some point I'd like to go. But I've never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame either. Football Hall of Fame for me only. And I can tell you that is quite the experience. If you haven't done that, take a ride over there. It's worth it. All right, newbie, it's your turn as I almost pass out as I'm trying to clear my throat and bring up this fucking mucus. It just won't come out sometimes. Then it comes out at the wrong time. All this other shit. Nobody knows shit except I keep taking this medicine and it's making my eyes water like shit too. Executive producer of the show, co-host of the show. He's Dan Alexander. On the Twitter, he's at Newbie Talks. Your Take a Minute segment, sir, starts in 3, 2, 1.
Do you guys hear that? That's the sound of Jeff Dawson eating another fucking hot dog at the Westgate. I can hear it now.
I was going to bring that up.
He just texted me. He's eating more today.
Jesus Christ. My dad had to get, what is it? What's the thing that you can get removed? Not your gallbladder.
Colon?
Yeah, no, not the colon. The fucking one that's like vestigial that you can get removed. The
appendix?
The appendix. Thank you. My dad had to get his appendix removed. He still will not eat hot dogs to this day because he equates it to a bad hot dog that he ate. So if I see anybody down in hot dogs, I'm like, I hope they got their appendix out. That's all I know. I hope Dawson is appendix-less. But my Take a Minute going to be dedicated to the fact that I'm going to do something I always wanted to do this weekend. It was breaking news. Dave mentioned to me that there was going to be a March Madness game in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I'm going this Sunday to the Elite Eight game at the Wells Fargo Center. And listeners to this show know very well that when I go to the Wells Fargo Center, the team I'm rooting for doesn't do too well. So you're going to have to stay tuned on social media coming up this week because you might be getting a Max Goat whale play. Fade whatever I'm backing when I'm at the Wells Fargo Center. I cannot wait. I'm going with my girlfriend. She's a huge basketball fan. She played basketball. She's actually like a hair taller than me. If we played horse, she would beat my fucking ass. She is an athlete through and through. She looks forward to March Madness. We're going to go together and it's going to be a terrific time. But because I love the listeners of 8 in the Box and the Cash Considerations podcast and all of the Cash Considerations umbrella of shows and more are coming, I'm going to give you guys whatever I'm backing and whatever I'm betting when I'm at the Wells Fargo Center, and hopefully you can make some coin off of it. I can't wait, Dave. Thank you for the little push to get me there. I can't wait. I'll have a full report on next week's Cash Consid show on how it was. Can't wait. That's my Take a Minute.
How excited is she to go, by the way?
Oh, she was over. When I told her, I thought she was going to fucking pass out, dude. She was so excited because she's never been to one either. She's never been to a D1 college basketball game. Like I've seen Nova at least, but I've never gotten to see the spectacle, and it's pretty cool. It'll be in Philly for a pretty big game. What are you laughing at about seeing?
I'm laughing because you just said about 20 minutes ago how you think UCLA can win it all, and UCLA is probably going to be playing in that game.
Exactly. I'm trying to hedge the emotional bets right there. If UCLA makes it, that might be the Max Goat whale play. So I guess we'll see, CH.
I hope it's not St. Peter's. And if St. Peter's goes,
ideally for me, it's St. Peter's versus UCLA. Like if I could pick my ideal matchup, that's what I want to go and see. But it would be pretty cool to see the Tar Heels too. See those crazy fans. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I'm looking forward to it regardless.
Either way, it's going to be great. You're going to have
all four teams. I would be cool to see, and I just can't believe that this is finally the year that the Boilermakers are making noise because I put them in my Final Four every year, and the one that I don't is when they're probably going to be the team that screws me live in person. Purdue's going to move on in my face the one year I don't pick them. That's the lock of the season.
Oh no, don't say that. That might happen.
I know. It's I have to live it every day, Dave. I know.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're going. You can guarantee if I was anywhere close to there, I'd be going with you because I get to experience a little bit of taste of March Madness going to the conference tournaments here with my daughters. And, even Jess went one night. We took little Consig Kendall. It was so much fun. Basketball is a great viewing event experience because it's 2 hours, pretty much standard. There's a lot of music in between. It's fun. There's a little too much reviews, a lot of timeouts, there's a lot of stoppages, but you get the time of the game is there. So it's fun. So hope you enjoy that. And then definitely stay tuned on the social at Newbie Talks, and the show account will retweet it or whatever. Cash Consid Show. We'll all get out there and like it, interact with us. We've actually kind of grown a little bit. CH went over the 1,000 follower mark. Congratulations there. Newbie's already over the 1,000 follower mark. I'm somehow over 21,000. The show has over 2,300. We got a lot of people seeing a lot of the stuff we're saying. Just get on there and say something fun. I guarantee you'll get a response from us, and then it'll get going. And if you come on the show or listen to the show, that's what we're here to do. We're not here to fight and cause shit and all that other stuff. Interact with the show. Email the show, topic suggestions. Mr. C did one time. Turns out we got to meet each other, and maybe we'll get to meet each other in the summer, talking about doing some other things there back east. So who knows? He's down in South Carolina. We might have some other people down in South Carolina before we know it. We might do a show on location from South Carolina. I'm just saying, can happen. All right. Might take a minute segment. Twofold. One, March Madness is great. A lot of people came to Vegas. Thank you to every single one of you that as I was walking through casinos every day that I was out, someone said, "Hey, you're Dave. Nobody knows shit. Hey, nice to meet you." Nice. I mean, this is how people were coming up to me, and I fucking love it. Hey, how's Newbie? How's CH? Are they coming out for March Madness? No. Oh, okay. Boom. You start talking. It is fantastic. It's a community. Okay. And we fucking love it. So thank you supporting the show, following the show, interacting with us on Twitter. There's too many people to name, but I had a great time with all of you. It was a hard 4 days. I mean, it's hard 4 days watching it, booking it, playing it. It was a hard 4 days running with all you people that were in town. It was great, but I'm tired. My body weary. I'm recovering now this week, and the shit's just starting now. Dawson is down at the South Point eating hot dogs, texting me, "What time are you done so we can go do something for the games?" Jeff, I'm going to pick you up. Don't worry. Jesus, stop eating the hot dogs. Just like Newbie said, you're going to get that thing. It's going to get that pain. Speaking of pain, point number 2 of my take a minute segment. Car trouble sucks. I just want to put that out there. And when other people are driving your car, because now I got a car, but it ain't mine. It was mine, but now it's the community car. So big consig, middle consig, mother-in-law, grandma, that everybody's driving my car. I can't help it. They're hard on the brakes. I had to get the brakes redone. I had something done with the blower. It's 80 degrees today in Vegas. It's going to be 90. Spring lasted one fucking day. One day. It's 90 tomorrow. It may go back down to the 80s, I hope, but otherwise I'm not ready for 90s in fucking March, because it's going to be 110 in May, June, July, and August. So please slow your roll on that. But people, when you get the car fixed and they tell you that the car is ready and you get there and the car ain't been touched, you know what I did? I just leaned back, said, "Nobody knows shit." I mean, seriously, you called me and said it was done. It wasn't fucking done. And now I extended my car stay 2 days. I ain't ever taken an Uber, but I would have if I had to. Thank God Grandma came and picked me up. That's it for the show. These are the boys. He's Dan Alexander. He's at Newbie Talks on the Twitter. He's Carl Hascall. He's at What's Up CH on the Twitter. I'm Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consigliere. The show at Cash Consid Show on the Twitter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
This is an over show, boys.